Thank you, Ellen, for hosting and Boma for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I would first like to start off with talking about coins. My name is Anna, and I'm simply a 15 years old grade 9 student in Shanghai, but that's my front side. When you flip my coin over, I'm ambitious, I'm determined, and I always find my own way out. I view myself no less than any adult. My team, Field Study, is another coin, another larger, even more ambitious coin. We seem just to be a random student organization with more or less 100 teens, but on the other side, we thrive to celebrate differences and promote innovation, believing that small steps can change the world. Our project over the past 1.5 months focuses on donations to hospitals at the front line of fighting coronavirus in China. When you turn this coin over, we cherish not only the physical supplies we deliver, but also the hope and the connection that arises above the worsening situation. We want to save the world. We are living through a crisis that is faced by the entire humanity, coronavirus. On January 23rd, Wuhan City shut down. We were shocked by the cries of doctors over the social media, so we wanted to do something. Our initiative was very simple: to use more resources to help more people and save more lives. Instead of reading devastating news day by day, we think putting in our effort into helping the medical workers at the front line fighting the coronavirus will somehow make this world a better place. There we go. We started off our magnificent journey. I have to say, it's much easier nowadays to raise money than to spend them. What we did was to generate QR codes, as you can see on this PowerPoint, for online fundraising. And then when people scan them after reading about us, they will be directed to another link, either on WeChat or Alipay. These are the two most essential payment methods now in China. Then people can pay online without any restrictions. What surprised us, though, was the excessive amount of donations that people gave us. We see that within the first 3 hours, the money we raised exceeded over 52.5 thousand RMB. By now, we've raised over 166,000 RMB, but look, our goal was only 10,000, meaning that we ended up with 16 times as much. People's passion both surprised us and touched us. Now, imagining you having 166,000 RMB, what will you do with it? You may want to buy yourself a villa by the sea and leave the contaminated world behind. You may also want to build extra hospitals for poor families so they won't suffer as much under this circumstance. But we had only one goal: save Wuhan and to save China. Whoa, wait, that sounds pretty big. That sounds mad. We aimed pretty high, but never flipped over the coin, and that's what we did not do right. We thought that the only way this mission could be performed is to buy products when we could have spent them with much more flexibility if we tried, even for once, took a step back. So there came the deadlock. Without social network, all we could do was to surf on the internet and dial random numbers of medical supply factories. Out of the 110 calls I dialed, only 16 picked up the call. Countless departments and legislations were in our way when we simply wanted to do a charity. After all, none of them were eager to help an inexperienced student organization, right? Somehow, we ended up with finding a local mask company. A company which had no certificates, no qualifications, no address, and wasn't able to print an invoice. Who would be so absurd to pay them? Well, we paid. Then, out of luck, they ran out of masks, so they returned our money back. Of course, we were pretty sad at the moment that we didn't get what we wanted, but from the perspective of now, looking back, it seems like we have escaped from being tricked by another fake company. That's pretty intense, right? But the same thing is happening over and over again as we carried on. When we managed to find a reliable mask supplier overseas, after not replying our email for 16 whole days, they returned our money back. Just to say, they did the exact same thing to us when we previously purchased face shields from them 10 days ago. Another Asian company we contacted also ran out of supplies after we paid. Nonetheless, we're still happy that we didn't lose anything. From time to time, we learn how to accept failures. We learn to be more cautious when we purchase supplies, but also we learned to get used to companies recalling their words. Look, this fumbling identification process can seem frustrating, but exactly because of this incident, we learn how to spot fake factories. One side of this coin says, "Ha, you're tricked." But at the meantime, the other side says, "Congrats, you learned." Our last and probably the most successful deal was with a European mask company. At first, we thought that the overseas transportation process was the hardest, since it was the furthest. But it was quite the opposite. The domestic mailing part was, in fact, the hardest. At that point, we had already more than 200,000 flights on the international scale being canceled. Now, it seems like pretty impossible to deliver all those masks over a distance of 8,900 kilometers. By then, we were already running out of money. We started off negotiating with the custom and the flight company. The total product we purchased was too light to be considered as a donation. Thus, we have to pay even more for tax and for donation fare. The masks then ended up in a storage house of an airport in Shanghai, which we planned to deliver straight to the hospital. However, since the mailing enterprise required a formal proof from an official charity organization, it's a smack on our face. It seems like even in the 21st century, the society still didn't seem to recognize that the young people's power are so powerful. Therefore, we spent more time finding a trusty organization that met their needs. Look, nothing comes without price, and no coin has only one side. It's never easy to do something this big, especially when none of us get to even touch the product for once. We had to verify someone's identity on this jumbled and massive internet, plus dealing with all the delivering. But exactly because everything can be performed online, I can now stand here and talk to you about my amazing journey. I can unite people together. See, that's another duality, another coin. Risks developed without face-to-face conversations, but we were able to help doctors thousands of miles away using only a laptop and a phone, and perhaps coffee. We've lived through betrayal, through loss, through vulnerability. We've lived through relief, through fulfillment, through happiness, but only after the abundant complexity that circulates us all along, we will be able to smooth away the mist and find the best of humanity. This morning, I saw a fly crashing itself onto my window. Of course, the fly had no idea what glass windows are, and it aimed for the nature by the fastest route. I caught it and set it free into the garden, but then it came back and wanted to crash on the window from the outside again. After a while, It seems to understand how stupid it is, then it flew away. We are that fly, and the world is that window. We are stupid in terms of not knowing to fly past the window and take another route. But exactly because of that is what makes us strong. Yes, we are young, but we never fail. We never kneel. We never stop learning. Remember, coronavirus is not the burden of one, but for all. As more of you will find yourself trapped by the nasty virus, try to do something positive. Try to make a change. If you don't have any idea, think about the other side of the coin. How can you utilize your community, your internet, your social network? Pull together your friends and discuss how you want to make a difference even at home. Perhaps your audience can range from kids in the middle of Africa all the way to your parents. As long as you have a motivation for the world to become a better place, nothing will stop you. So, to wrap up, here are 3 takeaways for this session. Firstly, regardless of age, you can make a change. Secondly, you can do so much for the world when you're staying home by utilizing your internet, your social network, and your community while freeing yourself from danger, actually. And thirdly, stay alert. You will be facing a lot of tough situations, but that will guide you through, and that's what makes you learn. Stay wild, stay strong, and you'll find your way out. Thank you.